Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Monday, August 5th, day 21 in the Big Brother 26 house. My name is Mike, aka BB Gossip, and today's podcast won't be as long as some because I did one yesterday, which I don't normally do one on a Sunday, but I did because stuff was going on and I felt like sharing. So those of you that feel this one is too short for some strange reason, by all means, listen to yesterday's first or after this. Either way, where I left you yesterday was Cedric was thinking of, I'll give you a mini recap. Tucker won the power veto on Saturday. He's proposed at one point taking off Angela and rather than himself. And Cedric possibly putting up Mackenzie in her place to force Mackenzie to use her power of veto for America thing, and then that reveals the power. She saves herself. Of course, America will have to make the choice on who will be nominated, which I speculated yesterday. We might watch last night's show and Wednesday night's show to see if anybody got a push by production to be kind of a negative light. Honestly, on last night's show, I didn't particularly see anybody get a negative, edit per se. So that theory may be not quite so good. Maybe they're just kind of leaving it up to however it flows. I will say that someone posted BB Updoots. I think that's how you say her nickname. She posted that one of the bigger Facebook pages out there has Quinn as the most likely renom, meaning the most unliked house guest. Ugh, Quinn. That would be interesting. He doesn't mean the house would vote him out, but let's say that when Mackenzie takes herself off, if she gets nominated, that Quinn could be the renom. So that's just something to put in the back of your brain, keep in mind as a possibility. So I recorded my podcast yesterday, and I left you with all of that info except for the Quinn part. What happened when I got back on the computer checking things out last night or yesterday afternoon is they really had flipped things up. And Tucker was talking about Quinn's power, and maybe it was too strong and they should try to get him out. And so Tucker was saying, instead of putting up Mackenzie in place of Angela, you should put up Quinn. And we should get Quinn voted out. And I will do a big, huge... He just has all the confidence in the world. I will be able to get everybody to vote out Quinn. I will reveal Quinn's power and say he has to go now before he can use his power, and all of this stuff. And I was like, whoa, okay, this is a big change from what I was just telling everybody about on my podcast. So that caught fire for a little bit, and the internet was running around in circles screaming, and oh my gosh, he's going to try to get Quinn up. This is the effect that Tucker seems to have, right? He is definitely, and they have portrayed him that in last night's edit, saying, he's bored, people aren't making moves, so he's going to be the one making the moves. He definitely is one who isn't afraid to make a move. I think he's going to flame out spectacularly. He's going to do one of two things. He's either going to flame out spectacularly, or he's going to go out on like a double eviction very quietly, boom, shocked, out the door. I don't know. That's my guess. Or he may, and I flame out spectacularly, could be we're going to blindside so-and-so, and then everybody decides, you know what, now is the time to get rid of Tucker. He's too good at winning competitions. And so let's just get him while he thinks he's a pawn yet again. So because the AI thing's going to be gone, I am sure, after next week. That's my guess, at least. Meaning one more week, 4 weeks of AI. That's just a guess. I mean, they might decide to keep the 3 nominee thing going a little bit longer, but So a lot of times these twist things last about 4 weeks, and then they've pared down the house enough that they don't need these extra competitions and stuff to kind of keep the I don't know. Anyways, all right, let's go back to the storyline. So that's going on with Tucker, or that was going on with Tucker saying, we ought to get rid of Quinn. After Tucker left, Cedric, did he talk with? I don't remember if he talked with Cam, because Cam got into this mix. They did form did I mention Cam? In case I didn't. Cam, no, I think I did. Cam walked into the head of household room and quickly got absorbed into another alliance. Yeah, I talked about that with the layers and stuff. So Cam is in this Ball Players Alliance, which is just the Shake 'em Up Alliance with Cam added to it, right? All right, so that was the four of them talking about making this move. I got the feeling that Cedric wasn't as crazy about the Quinn thing as Tucker, because it kind of exposes Quinn is in the Pentagon Alliance, and it was the Collective. That was the alliance I couldn't think of yesterday. The Collective Alliance as well, and so that kind of puts him in danger, whereas Mackenzie is not in those. Is she in the Collective? I don't remember if she's in the Collective, but it doesn't matter. Mackenzie is a less risky nomination for Cedric, and so far the house guests this season have been all about the less risky, the what the house wants, the I don't want to get blood on my hands nominations kind of stuff. So as of last night, the idea of putting up Quinn seems to have calmed down, in part, I think, because Tucker, after his whole thing, went and laid down and took a nap. He's like, Tucker got, I made the joke, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, but Tucker got tuckered out, probably with all of his conniving and his, game playing, and he went and took a nap, and while he took a nap, I think Cedric kind of went back to the line of, I think I should put up Mackenzie. Now, another thing was I watched Mackenzie in the storage room with Brooklyn, telling Brooklyn that that she's thinking Cedric might put him up, and Brooklyn was actually telling Mackenzie that she wouldn't necessarily need to use her power, that she'd still have the votes to stay without using her power, and then she could hold on to her power for next week. It's bad advice, by the way. I wouldn't count on that as being the way to go with things. I would definitely just use the power if you had it. Otherwise, you're really painting a target on your back. For being kind of a wild card, and just if you manage to stay, I think you would have a reputation of being, you know what, look what she just does her own thing, and yeah. So I definitely would use the power if she's nominated. So that happened. What else? I watched and I reported on Cam after the conversation where he was in the room after he was in the room talking about putting up Quinn with Tucker and those guys, he went down talking to Leah, and he kind of was like, I'm trying to keep your name out of people's mouths. Like, I'm doing you a favor. I'm watching out for you. And she was kind of like, yeah, I'm not really worried about it. I'm not really worried if I get nominated. I think I'll be okay, or this and that and the other. And he was kind of like, okay, well then I guess I just won't talk to you anymore, kind of thing. It's their weird flirty stuff. I don't know. It's Cam and Leah together are just very weird to me, but whatever. It's just the relationship just seems the flirting is kind of bold, and then it's kind of awkward, and then it's, I don't know, not sure. But Cam then went back talking to Cedric and saying, I'm kind of done talking to Leah. I can't trust her. I'm just going to be done talking to her. in theory, because he thinks that things he tells Leah get back to Mackenzie. So there's that. Of course, so last night on the show they talked about the showmances, and they had Chelsea recapping all the different quote showmances and what her thoughts were on them. She didn't mention the, in theory, relationship, a little bit of a friendship, I don't know, between Tucker and Rubina. And not that there's been anything romantic necessarily, except it does seem that Tucker is very protective of Rubina. He doesn't like people talking about putting her up. He's kind of like, yeah, don't put up Rubina. And then, yeah, so that was one that wasn't covered. What else? Let's see. Where are we at? Anything else on last night's show? We watched the Power of Veto competition, won by Cedric. Or sorry, the Head of Household competition won by Cedric. Tomorrow night will be Wednesday night will be the Power of Veto competition, won by Tucker. The diary room, I think, seems to really like to get Tucker riled up and kind of yelling into the camera. It just seems to be his thing, or maybe he does it so much that they're like, we've got to include this. And they did that. Anything else comes to mind? I do, every time I talk about Tucker now, in the back of my mind, I think, oh yeah, there was that earlier rumor that Tucker, maybe he does have a twin brother, that maybe there's a twin in the room. Obviously, no twin in the house this season. No twin with Tucker. I don't think you could have two of Tuckers. I'm imagining his brother is not quite the same personality as Tucker. He's definitely, he was one of those recruits that knows, I think he knows Cody, may know some other people that have been on Big Brother before. Yeah, you know what, it's okay. He's his own character. He's totally his own character, and I don't care that he may have other connections with people in Big Brother previously, because he's a lot, and he's worth having on the show. Anything else to tell you guys? I'm straining here. I'm trying to think. We already talked about Takor yesterday, the fact that she doesn't think she's on the show much because she's not in the diary room much. Nope, I think that about covers it. We should have our Power Veto meeting today. I'm going to guess before it happens, Cedric will go back and forth a little bit on who he puts up, but I think it's going to end up being Mackenzie, because by the end of the night, by the way, I didn't tell you that, but by the end of the night, it seemed that things had kind of leaned back to Mackenzie again, because Cedric doesn't want to get that, quote, blood on his hands and mess up alliances that he has. So I do think Cedric's going to put up Mackenzie. I think production would like that. It'll get Mackenzie's power out of the way, and then next week, although some people don't think it will happen, and by some people I mean people online, Quinn will get to use his power. I really just think it's going to happen. I really think they want him to use his power, so that's why I think it's going to happen. Pardon me. Oh, I'm sorry. We also have an extra show, I think, next Tuesday, maybe. I haven't looked at the schedule. I remember someone popping up saying that there's an extra show on Tuesday, unless they've moved a Wednesday show to Tuesday or something. I'd have to look at the thing. I'll check into that before tomorrow, maybe, see what's going on. But that would be timing if they're throwing if Quinn manages to use his power and they have an extra episode, that would be interesting. Although they could very easily throw in an extra episode with stuff that they haven't shown previously, where they could spend a whole 20 minutes on the Lisa-Angela relationship if they wanted to, just to kind of bring it up to speed. As like last night, of course, showing the showmances and stuff, it's like, well, this is stuff that's been going on for 2 weeks, and they just are bringing, like, the Quinn Leah stuff happened like, the third, fourth night. That's long since gone and over, done. But they're just showing it on this show last night because, that's what they did. They just turned it into a little package, and that's how they're showing it. Anything else? Nope, I don't think so. I will answer a question It was just a general question about, not about the show, but about my process or about things from Iowa Grandma Deb. I haven't replied to your email, and I apologize. But she asked me about on the main, I record this on a platform called Spreaker, and that in turn is, I guess, at some point was bought by iHeartRadio. So it's an iHeartRadio product, but I was on it before it was iHeartRadio. And Spreaker in turn distributes it out to all of the other platforms, iTunes, Spotify, et cetera, and that's how that all works. Well, on Spreaker, a lot of the people get to that by clicking on my links on Twitter. And on Twitter, once you get to that link you get to the Spreaker page, landing page, you can leave a heart. You can heart the podcast, the recent episode, or you can leave a comment. And Deb is my very faithful leaving a comment, and I do read them. I get an email when comments are left on Spreaker, and so yes, I do read them, Deb. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's very nice of you. Anybody else out there, if you leave comments on other platforms, I haven't probably seen them because I haven't gone looking. I have to actually go to Spotify and look up my podcast and look for reviews, or go to iTunes. And I do that every once in a while, but they don't notify me that I have comments, and so I just have to go take the time to go look for them to see what people are saying. What else? I think that's about it, guys. I think I'm boring you now at this point, and we'll get the action that'll take place after today's power veto meeting, and then we'll figure out what's going to happen. I think Tucker is saving Angela still. I mean, there's a chance that Tucker will save himself, but I thought Tucker really was going to save Angela. But I won't be shocked if Tucker changes his mind and decides, you know what, I think I'm just going to save myself this time around, and it'll be Angela, McKenzie, and Kenny nominated. The other option will be Tucker, McKenzie, and Kenny nominated. I do not think Quinn is going to end up on the block. But remember, I shouldn't say that actually, because Angela did say that she has to use her power as soon as she's up there. So now I take that back. When the feeds come back, probably it will just be Tucker and Kenny, or Angela and Kenny nominated, and they will sit around for 2 days wondering who America is going to nominate. America will probably get the option to nominate on Wednesday's show, and they won't find out, I think, until, I'm going to guess, live, that Julie will say, for example, hey, Quinn, you're the third nominee chosen by America, which will shock the heck out of Quinn if it happens, if that's how it falls. And then he'll have to go right into the AI arena. So, yeah, it could be interesting. It'll be an interesting Thursday. We'll talk about more later. Take care, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. It's appreciated. And we will talk to you all on Tuesday, unless something really crazy happens. Otherwise, see you Tuesday.